Rwanda attaches a lot of importance to the conservation and protection of mountain gorillas, considering the fact that these are among the wild animals that most tourists visiting the country always wish to go and see in their natural environment. And therefore, the country has come up with an annual gorilla naming ceremony aimed at raising awareness on the importance of preserving and taking care of these wild animals. And so on the Chamwada Report today, we'll be asking ourselves even more questions concerning this event. Some people are saying, I wish I could be able to also name a gorilla. So could you tell us how you got into this list of the 22?
We got an invitation from the Rwandan Development Board to come and speak.
I will be talking to officials in charge of organizing this event on the importance of it.
It's a platform we use to showcase what Rwanda has done in terms of conservation.
But before that, let's take a look at the fact sheet.
The naming of the mountain gorillas in Rwanda started in 2005. In Kinyarwanda, a gorilla is known as Ingagi. The Rwanda Development Board, RDB, is responsible for the naming ceremony as well as conservation efforts. The main objective is to monitor gorillas in their natural habitat. At least 230 gorillas have been named so far. Function attendees include the head of state, local and international diplomats, conservationists, tourism officials, and the public. Mountain gorillas are of great importance given the high rate of extinction in most African countries. The gorilla population in Rwanda as of 2010 was estimated at 880. And did you know that mountain gorillas are only found in Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Now, the gorilla naming ceremony normally takes place outside of the city, and that's where I want to take you right about now. My name is Eugene Anangwe, sitting in for Alex Chamwada. Let's take a look at how the event went down. Kinigi in Musanze district, northern Rwanda, is about 2.5 hours drive from the capital Kigali. In a bid to protect its rare species of mountain gorillas, Rwanda set aside a date every year where baby gorillas born during that year are named. And as it is tradition, this year's event has attracted people from all walks of life, most of them here to play witness to the naming of 22 baby gorillas. We may have names for our pets and the animals that we rear back at home, but Rwanda's gorilla naming ceremony is a unique activity.
It's just not a ceremony of any regular ceremony to name babies. However, it's a platform we use to showcase what Rwanda has done in terms of conservation, all the efforts that he has made, has put together to have conservation move forward. It's also a platform we use, of course, to promote what Rwanda has as a tourism destination.
What makes this more successful story, it's a celebration of a partnership and a celebration of working together to achieve common goals, to achieve the success of protecting this endangered species.
Bonny Kim is a Kenyan author and corporate trainer.
People in Rwanda, they have a connection. Every time you speak with a Rwandan, they are so passionate about when you visit Rwanda, come and see the mountain gorilla. So there is so much attachment. So you are close with, you have Rwanda friends, they will always tell you about mountain gorillas. Yeah, so it's quite interesting for me to be here.
Rwanda's President Paul Kagame is officiating the gorilla naming ceremony, perhaps one of the biggest signals of his government's commitment to conservation efforts. He is received with wild cheers, and his arrival here is a cue for the masters of ceremonies to officially set the ball rolling on the day's program.
we don't name baby gorillas every year, it means that we're not conserving. Yeah. So ipso facto saying that we're naming every year, and the number keeps increasing, it means that there's something out there that we're doing every year. We have a couple of awareness campaigns for the local community. We have the revenue sharing program where all our 5% of our tourism revenues go back to the local community. So all that, if you put it together, it's just a celebration of all the success stories that came out from the conservation.
There is pomp and color, a celebration of successful partnerships between the locals, conservationists, government institutions, and other stakeholders in conservation efforts. Not just anyone can be a baby gorilla namer. A team from the Rwanda Development Board carefully selects the group. This year, they comprised of diplomats, top students in science subjects in the country, members of the private sector, and high-profile conservationists. So what happens is that each gorilla namer picks a name for the baby gorilla from a family of mountain gorillas.
We'd like to welcome to our family, the greater family from the Garenza family, the most beautiful girl, Nyapinga, born on the 10th of April 2016.
The baby is Tunganirwa and was born the 3rd of May 2016. Tunganirwa means to be fortunate, and I chose the name because these gorillas are fortunate to be living in Rwanda.
I'm naming from the family Isabukuru. The proud mother is Akamaro. The baby was born on 4th August 2015, and the name that I'm proud to select is Umuhuza. Umuhuza means someone uniting people.
The name I named this baby gorilla is called Igikombe. Igikombe means award or the cup. As you know, Rwanda is winning so many cups, especially in conservation.
I would briefly say all the 22 names that we just found out today. Ndi Umunyarwanda, Mashami, Igikombe, Ukwiyunga, Howe, and lastly, Inchungu.
This year I was a namer in the Kwita Izina gorilla naming ceremony, and it was such an honor. I was so proud to be there. I named my baby gorilla Ntamupaka, which means no borders. This baby was born into the Kwitonda group, and Kwitonda actually came from the DRC. And it came at a time when there was a lot of conflict in the DRC. So we weren't sure if it was going to stay in Rwanda or go back and forth. So for a while, the revenue from that group was shared between the DRC and Rwanda. But I think it quickly became evident to Kwitonda that they wanted to stay in Rwanda. So by choosing the name of Namupaka, it shows the world that these gorillas have no country and they have no border. They can freely go where they want, which makes them everybody's treasure, everybody's cultural experience.
Beyond just naming these gorillas, what do you do next for you personally, for the baby gorilla that you named?
Now that I've named a baby gorilla, and I'll talk from our business sense, in an advertising sense, I can tell people that as we lead groups here to Rwanda, I can say there's always the possibility that we're going to visit Kwitonda group and that you will see the baby that I named. And since we've been coming for so many years, I've watched gorillas grow from babies to blackbacks to silverbacks. Now I can watch my little girl, Ntamupaka, I can watch her grow up and possibly become a mother herself. And that will be important to me. But to share that with others, I love to share nature and wildlife and conservation and the cultures of the country that we visit. So it'll all come together here in Rwanda as we bring groups.
You're watching the Chamwada Report. We're coming to you from Rwanda, the northern province to be specific, where the gorilla naming ceremony, that is Kwita Izina, normally takes place. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking to Matt, the gentleman behind that King Kong-sized gorilla stage that has been used for the gorilla naming ceremony, among other people.